like after then you can wait out Trump, and you'll get either he'll get tired or you'll get a different administration.
I didn't
I
say
just don't think
anything
like
bad
in the
on
long
here.
run. I don't know. Whether it's Trump, it's in America. There's a two-party system. You're gonna get someone like Trump. I think this is where the kind of wind is blowing.
I said I didn't like the Jimmy Kimmel nature of the podcast,
in the long
and
run,
you
I
need
think
a
you're
set.
absolutely on point. Like even we saw early on in the Biden era, a recognition that markets and like our
You're going down.
trade, that national security,
I'm taking your life away.
to not have like
Your house, your home. I'm suing you.
sort of things. But like there's this desire to kind of reject certain kind of globalization of things that I think is reflective in foreign policy, but also in trade and things like that. That Biden responded to as well with the Inflation Reduction Act and some of the infrastructure here too. So
let's turn to the other horror show that is happening more domestically.
You're racist.
And I want to emphasize, I think, what's happening now with ICE, like that is also a part of all the same.
I'm gonna end your journalism career.
I don't think it's an accident.
Emma needs to leave this podcast. This is a racist man with a racist staff and a racist agenda.
And certainly the sort of the way in which seeing fully paramilitary, totally geared up paramilitary in the streets is a function of what we saw in the wake of the Iraq invasion in Afghanistan, where old military equipment was basically given to police departments. Then suddenly, by 2006, we had up-armored vehicles riding through our streets.
I mean, DHS is a war on terror creation.
Absolutely. I mean, like in some ways, what they're trying to do is to turn Minneapolis into Fallujah. Or into Gaza.
I hope she gets a better job.
Between international policy and domestic are very strong. I think Stephen Miller is perhaps a good example of this. He's sort of coming out of David Horowitz and that whole sort of wing of the Republican Party, which is strongly for the war in Iraq and in Afghanistan, but also has a very militarized view. In an interview with that paper on CNN, Miller said something to the effect, this is the real world. This is where the strong grow, and that is the sort of world of force.
I'm really big. I'm your biggest fan,
both domestically and in the Western Hemisphere.
So. The Trump administration sent another 100 ICE agents to Minneapolis. As a way, I think, of showing we're not backing down. We're going full force on this. A day after a woman shot in the face and killed by
the fucking guy.
La Migra, I guess, in Minneapolis. 2 people shot in Portland. Also indicative of there was clearly a message like, hey guys, let's back off for a bit or two, but they keep drawing down. Doing the opposite. How do
they have any sort of strategy of de-escalation? It is always. I think that is one thing that characterizes the whole administration. It's always escalate.
Yeah. So, play this out for us here, Jeet. We have polling.
I'm gonna sue you for my cancer treatment.
Top of the show that shows people are very displeased, more in favor of abolish ICE than they were even the first time it became popular.
Can I just? I mean, that's a 21% increase in a year. Just on election day, only 21% of Americans civically supported abolishing ICE. Now 42% support abolishing ICE entirely. 50% oppose it, but that's, I mean, obviously more fluid, and that's absent any national leadership, democratic messaging that would be pushing this matter.
But we need more than that. That may be helpful in the midterms, assuming that we have midterms, or that the midterms, reflect the way that people intend or actually did vote. But like, we're at a sort of an inflection point where more people have to come out. Like these authoritarian regimes, right? And we're about as, like, I don't know when you cross the threshold into an authoritarian regime, right? Like, I don't think it's one of those things where, it's a data type of thing. It really also has to do with sort of the mentality of people. The value to them of shooting that woman dead is that that's in the back of the minds of people who may, in some way, get into an argument with ICE next time.
And your race isn't going to protect you.
And so, on one hand, it increases the amount of negative
I'm watching the
opinion towards
podcast.
ICE, but on the other hand, it enhances their abilities in some ways. Because it will create fear in other people, it will create fear as to, like,
Good.
am I going to go out there and challenge ICE in the same way that I may have thought about